Welcome to Sacred Caregiving. My name is Barbara, and before I begin, I want to say something important and offer a gentle note of care. What I am about to share with you is true for me. It's part of my spiritual experience. But if you're hearing voices and they feel frightening, overwhelming, or especially if they're urging you to harm yourself or someone else, please seek help immediately. Talk to a professional. In the United States, you can call or text 988 to connect with a trained counselor. It's free, confidential, and available 24/7. Mental health matters. Your safety matters. And asking for help is not weakness. It's a sacred act of self-care. There's a story I want to share with you that I've never fully told to many people, maybe a select few. When I was about 7 or 8, and my mom and I lived in the bottom flat of a converted Victorian house in California, my bedroom was right off the dining room, and from my bed I could see into the kitchen. And one night, I saw my great-grandma Barden's ghost. She appeared at the stove, still, watching. She didn't speak, but when she saw me watching her, she started coming towards me in my room, and I turned and faced the wall and shut my eyes like really tight, just begging for her to go away. At the time, I was terrified. Not because she was frightening, but because I didn't yet understand that love could linger past death, that watching could be a kind of protection. That veil between the worlds isn't always closed. From then on, I could sense the spirits of my ancestors. When my grandpa Green died, I could still sense and smell his tobacco whenever he was around. He had a very distinct pipe tobacco. And I could smell it when he was around. Then in my 20s, there was a paradigm shift. Something reawoke inside of me. And about this time, I met a nurse who worked with my mom in home care. And she was also a medical intuitive. She doesn't just see symptoms, she sees energy, patterns, possibility. And she saw something in me. She taught me how to listen, how to trust what I felt, how to use my gifts, and how to hold sacred space for what couldn't be seen. Then, when I came to Oklahoma, another paradigm shift and a further awakening began. Here, in the heart of the Bible Belt, I met like-minded people. Though we used different labels, Reiki healers, light workers, empaths, witches, whatever label you want to put on it, they helped me remember who I was and what I could do with my gifts. So, what are my gifts? I'm known as a clairaudient. Most people are more familiar with clairvoyance, those who see spirits, like the Hollywood medium or the Long Island medium. The clairvoyants that are featured on reality TV. But I don't see dead people. I'm pretty sure I blocked that out as a kid. However, if I allow myself sacred space, quiet intention, and trust, I can hear them. Ghosts, ancestors, spirits, people from the other side of the veil, whatever label you want to put on them, I hear them. Not always in words. Sometimes it's a feeling, a phrase, a knowing, but it's real and it's mine. Caregiving taught me even more about the other side of the veil. When someone is nearing the end, the energy in the room changes. Sometimes it gets loud, especially if the death is unexpected. There's confusion, urgency, voices raised in fear, disbelief, voices barking orders, attempting to revive the physical body. Other times it's quiet, expected, gentle. And sometimes it's somewhere in between. But always something shifts. As a caregiver, I've learned to listen not just with my ears, but with my whole body. As an clairaudient, an empath, I can sense when the air thickens and the energy changes and the veil thins. That's where my clairaudience becomes less a gift and more a responsibility. The responsibility to witness, to hold space, to translate if needed to the loved ones still here. There's a quote that I love from the late spiritualist Dr. Wayne Dyer. He said, "We are not human beings in search of a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings immersed in a human experience." That's what caregiving has shown me. That we are spirit first. That the body is a vessel, yes. But the soul is the story. And the story doesn't end when the body dies. Sometimes when someone is nearing the end of their physical existence, they start speaking what sounds like nonsense. They talk about people who've made the transition. They mention names that no one said aloud in years. They talk about going home. That was what my grandma did when she was home with hospice. Her body was fading, but her spirit was still wide open. She spoke of seeing her mom and dad, her brothers and sisters, of going home, of reunions that hadn't happened yet, of reunions that hadn't happened in decades. And I felt their presence, her brother, her sisters, my great-grandparents, even my grandpa, whom she had divorced when my dad was a teenager and who'd passed away 20 plus years before. But he was there too. It was a very full room. Not full with noise, but with presence. This is the part of caregiving that no chart can capture, that not a lot of people talk about. The part where the veil thins and the soul begins to speak the language of leaving. I haven't shared with many people about my gifts. Part of it is because many of my family who live nearby are very conservative Christians. They would probably lock me up in a padded room or do whatever the Baptist equivalent is of an exorcism. they already think I'm one step away from a heathen because I'm an Episcopalian and not a Baptist. So you may be asking yourself, why now? Why come out of the closet, so to speak, as a clairaudient? It's because the veil is thinner than ever. Because someone out there is experiencing something similar and hasn't known how yet to put it into words. But they're listening to this. Because silence is no longer sacred. In times of uncertainty, those who carry light must offer it openly, brighter, steadier, and without shame. And maybe, just maybe, it's time we spoke. It's time we let our lights shine brighter. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a caregiver. It truly is sacred work.